Hi, happy full moon, Serenity. How are you? I got my full moon I got my moon and my little sun outfit on today. Are you doing anything for the full moon? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Message me. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, sorry, I didn't have the chat on. Yes, greetings. Yes, we can. Okay. Hello, everybody. How are you? Much love, light, and blessings. Sorry I was late. The summer sucks where I live at because anytime any type of rain happens, we temporarily might lose power or whatever. Because I don't, a lot of people think I live in Philly, but I do not live in Philadelphia. I do live in PA, but I live in a like more suburban, I'm not gonna really say city place. So the power grid here kind of stinks, to be honest. That's why I lost power one time for like 2 days. Ridiculous. Yes. How is everyone doing today, though? How is everyone doing today? How are you guys handling? The world is crazy. That's why I had to download like a fun, spooky, which now you can see I have it up. It's why I made the video because I wanted to put my stuff back there. So, my little haul stuff is back there. But I wanted to do a guilt-free video because the world is crazy, guys. The world is crazy. So what do you think? What are your opinions, guys? We might have another presidential person on the other ticket because the other dude dropped out. Like, oh God, what a mess. We only have 4 months until election day. And like you're gonna drop out right now. You could have done this like 2 years ago. Like, what are we doing right now? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, nice. You're gonna be out of the continent. The sleep deprived part stinks. Yes, I have put live replay. Like you could watch the live back. I made sure I put that on there. It's okay. No, no. I believe me. I understand it needed to happen or whatever. My issue is why we gotta wait 4 months before the election. Like you could have said this like 2 years ago. You could have said this a year ago. Like we don't got enough time to campaign over here. Like it's kind of setting them up for failure. So yeah, my spirits told me that was gonna happen too. So he could have did this last year. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to do this live because I feel like there are certain things that I can say live via making a video, because my channel has been shadow banned and reported numerous times whenever I talk about issues like when I started protesting about George Floyd, when I've talked about the importance of elections, when I talked about the former president we had in 2016. I said my real feelings about them. Things like that, like my channel gets reported. So that's why some people are like, oh, I didn't know I got unsubscribed from your channel, or I can't find your videos in the algorithm. That's why. So I figured I would go live so I could express myself without fear of censorship. So that's why I did that. Oh, yes. Okay, my love. No problem. No. So let me tell you what's going on. I was very upset. Let me tell you why. Whether you like the old man, because he was not my favorite person, I'm going to sit here and be real honest with you. When this election cycle started, I was going to sit this one out. If you want me to be honest, I wasn't going to vote. I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. I am an independent. I vote for who I think, whatever. So, long story short, I was going to sit this one out when it had first started because I was not excited about neither one of these people. And about 5 years ago or 4 years ago, so like, no, around 2016, I kept having dreams from the ancestors, right? I kept having dreams about the ancestors. And they showed me not what the Christians had predicted, oh, the apocalypse, the Antichrist, not that. But they showed me that we were going to have a civil war in the United States. People that read with me and they read about like spirit messages and stuff, I've kind of already reiterated that message. But there was going to be a civil war. I dreamt it like right before President Trump won the actual like election. I already saw that happening. And before George Floyd, what happened to him, I already saw that there was going to be like policing issues and racial issues and things like that. I haven't wanted to share that because, again, I have gotten shadow banned on YouTube. I am going to be branching out outside of YouTube in my regular, not in my membership, but like, where I make regular videos on here. I am creating and in process of creating an Instagram for a backup platform for like my subscribers in case they take my channel down on YouTube. You guys can follow me somewhere else. So I am in the process of creating that because I want to be able to say what I want to say. But basically, I had a dream that there was going to be the people that are our actual allies to the BIPOC community, the Black, Indigenous, people of color, and the people that are part of the all right movement. In my vision, I had a dream that it was more about a religious war. So it's going to be like, nothing against Christians, but like the all right Christian fascist movement. This is separate from regular Christianity. So the all right, people, we all know what that means. I had a dream that we were taken over by those people, that we were living in a dictatorship, that the American dollar collapsed, and that you had a secret uprising of people that wanted to bring back democracy. I also, in my vision, saw like rivers and rivers of unalive people. And this is before COVID happened. I already saw the communities that COVID was going to affect. I have seen all of that. I saw all of that. I have certain clients that I confide in that they can literally get on here and say, no, Shamanic said that years before it happened. Okay. So I already foresaw all these things. Even though a lot of people are like, yay, Joe Biden got out the ticket, I was not one of them because I don't care about him. But I am looking at the deeper meaning of that. Good or bad, he was the person they voted on the Democratic ticket. So the fact that the lobbyists, they didn't do it for the people that they didn't do it for me, you. He dropped out because of the donors, the elites, and the lobbyists. When somebody does that to a sitting president, whether you like Biden or not, we as BIPOC community and those that are allies to the BIPOC community have to be afraid of that because we are in risk of the corporate Democrats putting in a puppet candidate that they know is going to lose because there are people that are endorsing Kamala and there's a lot of people that are not. And one of the people that are not endorsing her are the elites. They are actually wanting to put someone they know is going to lose against Trump in order for the tax raises that this party was trying to do, particularly Biden and Kamala, right? They want to tax the rich equally to us, the working class that is the backbone of this economy. So that is why I am one of the few people I am not celebrating because my spirits already told me that was going to happen. Okay. That has never really happened in history that a sitting president who won the ticket for his party literally was forced to step down. So as much as I don't like him because I am not for him, you have to be afraid of that. They are literally doing a secret coup. And that is the reason why I got on live is for us to be woke, like share this live because I saw this happening in 2016 before this guy got the nomination and won the presidency. They are doing a silent coup. And the fact that people were more bad about Biden losing a debate than a 34 felon convicted rapist, because he's a rapist. I can't say the word on live here, but you know what I mean if you take the word E out. I am shocked that so many people are backing a man who is literally trying to do Project 2025, which is literally going to rip citizenship of Latinos and of other Black people, okay, even if they're born in America, and put us in camps. They're going to strip reproductive rights. He's going to be a dictator on day one. And whether people like it or not, shamanic Agua priestess is pro-democracy. And that's why I came on live today. Like, literally, there is a spiritual war. There is a religious group that's fascist, that's trying to take over America. And it's crazy that no spiritualist on YouTube has the cojones to talk about this. Because at the end of the day, if they're only going to have a country that's run by one religion, that means there's no paganism, there's no voodoo, and there's no santeria. So we need to wake up and know that it's not about Biden, it's not about Kamala. We are voting for the very right of reproductive rights, religious freedom, and the assistance of Black, Indigenous, people of color in this country. That's what we're voting for. So I came on here to say, as disenchanted as we are with the two-party system, this is the most important election of our lifetime. The most important election on our lifetime, because this could be the last time that we vote. And it's a disservice to Martin Luther King. It is a disservice to the Black Panthers. It is a disservice to Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and every other ancestors, Pedro Abismo Campo and every other ancestors that came before us. They were fighting for us to have the right to vote and the right to be equal. So if you are a true ally, you need to vote for us, because I will not live under the tyranny that was 2016 and 2020. We had a pandemic that was called a hoax. We had a slow response to that. So many people died. 5,000 people died in Puerto Rico because we had the world's worst president in power. That is how I feel. Sorry for the screaming, but that is the reason why I wanted to come on live. I have seen this happening. We are at the cusp of losing our democracy. So even though I don't like neither one of them, I'm going to be voting for democracy. It's literally democracy versus religious tyranny. Point blank, period. For everybody who's been part of a country that doesn't have rights, that has had parents to migrate here, we owe it to them to vote for democracy, for freedom, to keep America free. That's how I feel. Okay, I'm done. I wasn't reading AOC's tweets about this. Yes, because she literally said it. She went on video. I don't watch a lot of spiritual content. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I watch a lot of political content. I'm very incensed about politics, more so during the 2016 elections, because literally the fact that this person literally did a January 6th insurrection and he was pardoned by the Supreme Court nomination people is crazy to me. Like, you can literally be a sitting president and try to overthrow the government and still get to run on a ticket. Is mind-boggling to me. Like, it's crazy to me. So when that happened today, I don't like Biden. I was crying, not because of Biden. I was crying because the Democratic Party is trying to steal your vote. If they bypass Kamala, it is an actual coup, like I saw. Because remember, when we voted, whoever voted for him voted Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. It makes sense that if he can't and be unfit, the vice president is the one that's supposed to take over. That is the Constitution. The fact that you have certain political leaders that refuse to endorse her, you got to wake up. There is a spiritual battle happening. Spirituality is politics. Before we can say, okay, I want world peace in this place and that place, we have to make sure we secure our own democracy as well. We have to take care of our country as well, so that we can continue to be the thing that everybody else looks at, the land of the free. You can't advocate for another country, but then say, I'm going to sit out and not vote this year. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how you not going to vote? Like, not voting is the same thing as saying we want the Orange Menace to be the president. That's like what you're literally saying right now. So that's why I feel about that. That is my take on that. I've been a lot on the politics, whatever. So if Kamala's the ticket, then Kamala's the ticket. That's what I'm doing. You don't got to do what I do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. So yes, because it is crazy. Like, they're literally trying to steal the election. They're literally trying to, the fact that CNN, MSNBC have been like torturing the president, but yet they don't call out the 50 lies that Trump said during the debates. He didn't do a good job either. The fact that they're not calling out the 34 felonies that he's had, like, make it make sense, please. Like, make it make sense. This guy wants to do mass deportation, separating women and children and migrants. And, I'm a daughter of an immigrant. So that stuff bothers me. Like, what if my mother would have decided to come to America during that guy's regime? Like, would they would have separated me from my mother too? Like, come on now. Yes, exactly. And I noticed like the spiritual community never talks about anything, like nothing against anybody or whatever, but it's like I'm so sick and tired of, oh, we're gonna open up these crystals and we're gonna open up this decks. Okay, that's cute, but like the world is burning around you. The world is burning around you. Can we talk about things that actually affect the everyday people? Like spirituality can be political too. Ugh, so annoying. Yes, the news is very overwhelming. I've actually started to watch if you guys are interested, I'm gonna stop screaming now. If you guys are interested, I can actually give you links. I'm gonna be making like a future video that's not so like passionated, but I can give you links of channels that I watch that are they're not corporate media, because I don't know if you know, okay, but CNN was bought by a Trump supporter, someone who actually has funded his campaign, like gave donations. That is why CNN has, if you watch CNN, it has particularly changed its tone, and it's kind of like fired a lot of people, like John Lemon got fired. He's a very like liberal person, because yes, I do watch political news. So I don't watch them anymore because Trump bought over CNN. That's the reason why he had a town hall meeting. That's the reason why the media is trying to be like, yeah, Biden's this dumb person. And okay, yeah, he did horrible. But it's crazy to me how they're not mentioning how terrible Trump is. Everything is just one sided, right? And I think that's crazy because they are planning a coup. There's a channel that I follow, which I'll give the link to a future video that I make, where someone secretly recorded someone in that news station, and they admitted that they were doing that for ratings, that they were literally throwing the sitting president under the bus because the other guy gave them more ratings in 2016. That's the reason why the channel got sold. Once we had the president, the world was calm, people stopped watching the news as much. So they're trying to sensationalize things, create a false narrative, create drama, because all of that equals ratings, guys. So that's why the corporate media is doing that. When I watch political news, I watch it from creators that have like 3 or 4 million followers, and it's just regular everyday people that are like journalists that are not getting paid but for the views on YouTube and sponsorships and stuff like that. So they're not having to censor themselves or cater to a certain perspective, or because your boss has these political beliefs. It's kind of like they could say what they want to say. And so I've seen like this one, he's a black British man. He does really good. And then there's another one. He's a white man. I watch him too, and then I watch A Beautiful Sister. She does too. So I have like 3 channels that I watch, and they've been talking about this stuff. So we have to stay awake. Again, it's not about this dude, because I'm like everybody else. He was like in 2016, he was kind of like, is either in 2020 was either like, is this guy again or whoever the hell's there, right? So it's not about him. I'm not crying about him. It's about what they're doing politically and what that could mean for us. Because if they could just take somebody off the ticket that was voted in the ticket, it's kind of setting a very dangerous precedent, because it's kind of like telling any future candidate, if you don't fall in line to our beliefs, we could just take you off the ticket. That doesn't sound like a democracy to me. So we have to be very careful in allowing our government to do things like that, because literally that is stealing an election. So if they don't endorse the person that he endorsed as his like vice president, whether you like her or not, that is a coup. That is a coup. Remember, we're in July. They're not going to put the official nominee until August. That gives whoever's running on that ticket 3 months, 3 months to win. Whereas the other dude had the whole 4 years that he was running his campaign. So we got to look at it that way. If they were really interested in the betterment of the people, they would have made him drop out 3 or 4 years ago. So this is not the corporate Democrats care about us. No, it is them trying to sabotage the elections to raise money. If the other guy wins, they're going to be able to raise money. Oh, we have to get him out of office. No. So we got to stay woke. Okay. Politics is dirty. So stay woke with that. Yes, I'm going to give you guys the links and stuff. So I don't know if you guys caught that, but I did. And I'm like, I'm surprised. Like I've been looking on the spiritual channels. I'm like, nobody is talking about this. Like this could literally affect you and me having our own spiritual practices. This is going to affect people that do readings, because if a very conservative part of the demographics takes over the government, like the fascist, they're not going to allow us to practice our religion, meaning that your livelihood is over. So, you know what I'm trying to say? Some spiritualists might have to leave the country because they can't even practice their religion openly. So, we already get a lot of discrimination as is. You know what I'm saying? So, they're only preaching religious freedoms for one religious people. They're going to go against the Muslims, just like they had the Muslim ban the first time. Like, we are in so much danger right now. It's crazy. Like, it is crazy. Like, we literally have states right now in the United States that literally are forcing kids to, I like this hat better. They are forcing the kids to literally have to have a school with the 10 commandments. Okay. I have family members that think that's a great idea. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. But that money doesn't circulate to its most loyal voting base. Exactly. Exactly. That's my thing. When before Biden got thrown out the race, he was trying to tax the elites because he had broke records in like fundraising. And all of a sudden, when the elites saw that he was taxing them, that's when the pressure campaign happened. Because he did really bad on the debate, but it was never about the debate. The sponsors were mad because he said he wanted to tax them 27%. And a lot of you know that the elites don't pay taxes. He wanted them to pay a equal share of taxes. That is what this really is about, to be honest. That is what it's really about. So every time somebody tries to make a change, and another thing too that we have to understand, the president isn't the only election that you should be voting for. Your local elections are just as important as your presidential election. I vote for all my elections. The school district people that's in charge of the board of ed, that your state elections is how it defines how you get the money to the most loyal voters. A lot of people only vote for the president. The president only has power to veto. It's who the president puts. This is the reason why when Trump had his Supreme Court nominees go into the Supreme Court, this is why they overturned Roe versus Wade, because elections have consequences. A president could put in who's going to be in the Supreme Court, right? So even if there's a new president, it doesn't matter because you have that. Another thing too, if you have Republicans and then you have Democrats, or you have people like Joe Manchin, there's not a real Democrat, and they tend to align more with conservative, the Reaganomics that never works. So that's important. This is why your senators, your Congress people that have to do with the school board, your mayors, your governors, they have to do with the budgeting. If you want better education for your kids, you have to vote on the school board meetings. If you want, if you want better health care, you have to vote in your state elections. A lot of people only think it's the president. And there's 3 different branches to our government. So we have to start like educating ourselves and our children. Like, it's important to vote for every single election. Elections matter. If we have a strong enough base on all the houses and the congressional branch and all of that stuff, right? The judicial branch, sorry. Like if we have a strong Democrat, they could put in some new Supreme justices, and what happens is there's more of a balance of power. Right now, the Supreme Court is full of more conservatives than liberals. This is again the reason why they overturned Roe versus Wade. This is the reason why affirmative action was abolished. So again, we have to worry about the Senate, the Congress, and the president, so that the things they're trying to pass gets passed. It is not just sitting on, okay, we voted for the president. No, we got to vote for everything. I vote for everything because I didn't know that. I used to just do the president election and not care about anything else. But no, every election matters. Senators and Congress actually have more power than the president because they're the ones that put the bills up. They're the ones that put the bills up, and they're the ones that get the laws passed. All the president has to do is either veto it or sign it. So the Congress and the Senate matter. The Congress and the Senate matter, because I remember when they were trying to pass the American Relief Act, Joe Manchin was one of the holdouts, and Cinema, because they were like moderate Democrats, you know what I'm saying, rhinos. So we have to, because of those two people in the Senate, was why a lot of things in this administration has not gotten passed. So we have to care about every single state election, and if you have that, and if you have people that think the same thing, that is the only way they're going to codify Roe versus Wade. That's the only way we're going to get a living wage. Like, we have to vote on every single election. That's just the way it is. We have to. We have no choice. So yeah. And then that way we could finally make sure that our money goes to, like Latoya said, the most loyal voting people, because I'm tired of the cost of living. I'm tired of inflation. I'm tired of the supermarket. I'm tired of the gas prices. I'm tired. I'm tired of the lack of healthcare in this country. Like, I'm tired of all of the things. Like, we need to fix a lot of stuff. And I always said, to me, ideally, I'm a third party person. I've only fallen in line now because of, I don't want to lose my democracy. But in all reality, I would love to have a third party candidate who was actually for the working class people. Okay. But in order to have that happen, we need to make sure that we have the right to vote in 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Because we can always elevate somebody in a third party. There's more of us than there are of them. There's 99% of the country is the ones that pay the taxes against a 1% of the country. You know what I'm saying? So yes, because there's a lady, she she's a Latina actually. There's a Puerto Rican and a Cuban. They were running for president actually on the third party. But what happened? They were not allowed to be on the ballot in all 50 states. And they're a party for the working class. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, in order for that to happen, we have to start getting more politically educated. And I blame myself, because I did it too. They are actually viable candidates in the third party. It's too late to do that now because she can't be on all 50 state tickets. It didn't happen. She lost the primary because of that. So we, as the American people, we need to demand in the next election that there is a third party viable candidate. From when this election's over, like, I'm gonna start advocating for third party. I'm gonna start researching third party people, and I feel like we need to start calling our politicians and being like, we need third party candidates to also be on the ballots. We need to have more than two choices, okay? Because most Americans don't align with either party, okay? So it is what it is. Like, we need a political party that represents those of us that live paycheck to paycheck, those of us that have debt from college, those of us that are trying to find childcare, those of us that have elderly people. We worry about, is there going to be social security in the future? Those of us that are tired of going to the supermarkets and the price gouges. It shouldn't cost so much money to buy groceries. It's ridiculous. It's the same damn food we ate the other day. It's crazy. Like, a box of cereal shouldn't be $8-10. Like, what are we talking about right now? So, and then I live in a swing state. So, like, Pennsylvania is horrible because, like, what they consider a livable, like, yearly income in other states is not. Even in states that have lower rent than us, Pennsylvania is the most expensive state to buy groceries. And we have one of the lowest per hour wage. Yep. And then ever since COVID, like, the fact that they haven't capped the rents, every time I used to have to re-sign my lease, is why I was like, I'd rather buy a house. But even that's not good. So is the housing market's not good. Like, we have a lot of economic stuff that we need to work on, honestly. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'll give you guys the links and stuff like that, of course. Oh my goodness, I'm done with my rant. I'm such an impassionated person. I can't help it though. I can't help how I try not to be like so socialist, like social commentary type of thing. Or like, keep it spiritual, keep it about tarot decks and readings. But I'm just a very passionate person. My mother raised me like that. She marched with the Black Panthers. You know what I'm saying, and the Young Lords and all that. So I grew up around a lot of like social activism and civil rights stuff. So I can't help it. Yeah, I'm very passionate. This is not a perfect country, but like, damn, it makes me sad that, like, we're literally watching our country, like, I remember when January 6th happened, I was like, what in the world is going, like, what do you mean there's people breaking into the state capitol? Like, what do you mean that the president's not calling them down? Like, it's crazy. Like, what are we talking about right now? Like, and the fact that there's still people like loving this man, oh my goodness. You know, I'm gonna keep quiet because I ain't trying to get in trouble. But it's just like I have my feelings. I have my feelings. And again, I am not a Democrat. It's just I don't like him. I just don't like Trump. Okay, that's just it. I don't like him. That's it. I can't even hide it. I don't like the man. But yeah, she said, "I love your passion, guys." I'm not gonna get off the live. I'm gonna turn on my air conditioner because it's getting hot in here. I was trying not to turn it on. I mean, I was trying not to turn it on because it's loud, but I can't. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Yes, it was crazy. It literally was crazy. I was like, what's going on? And what got me mad is like nobody was really talking about it. Only like a few people in the spiritual community, like that what I call the outcast people. I'm one of them. But a lot of people just living their life. And I'm like, okay, like global warming's a thing. Our government's being overthrown is a thing. Like, what are we doing? Who do I think her running mate will be? I ain't gonna tell you, sissy. No. Now I was watching. They have the senator of Pennsylvania as one of them. So there's definitely gonna be cisgender white men. The four that they said. One is from Arizona. One is from Pennsylvania. She's been talking about. One is from Virginia. A senator from not Joe Manchin, a different guy. And then I forgot who the fourth person was, but yeah, so I don't know who these people are, to be honest. I know my senator. I like him, so that will be a good choice. But yeah, it's looking like she's gonna pick a man, which I think is a good thing because Obama had to do that because Obama picked Biden so he can get the undecided, right? He had to get the undecided voters because let's be real, to some people it was a racial thing. They didn't want to vote for him, so he made sure he got Biden on the ticket. So I know why Kamala's doing that because some people are saying like we're not comfortable voting for a woman or whatever. So it makes sense to me that she's gonna pick a male. You know what I'm saying? So that makes sense to me. But yeah, but it's crazy. But I was like, dude, you could have jumped out a year ago, 2 years ago, bro. Like, come on, bro, come on. Because I'm gonna be honest, now that he's not on the ticket, like his speeches were not speeching for me. Like I never once in 3.5 years ever listened to his speeches. I'm sorry. Thoughts on him not endorsing her? He's a corporate. I mean, I love Trump, but he's a corporate Democrat like all of them. I mean, also, she's a woman of color. Okay, I feel like he wanted a man to take over that ticket. He's a man. I mean, what are we gonna say? It is very hard. Look what happened to Hillary Clinton. I don't like Clinton, but I'm just saying it's very hard for a woman to run for president. We live in a misogynistic world. I've been reading on Reddit the comments. Everybody's talking about her gender mostly. Oh, I don't want to vote for her because I think a woman will be too emotional. So I feel like Obama's trying to just be conservative. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts. Okay. They're not facts, they are thoughts. I feel like because she's a woman. Yes, he endorsed Clinton, but she was not a woman of color. She was I feel like the reason why he's not endorsing her because he thinks she can't win because she is a woman of color. She's a biracial woman of color. A lot of people keep saying that on social media, but they're not going to ever elect a biracial woman of color. Oh, it is, honey. It is, honey. That's why the Haitians did the voodoo with her. Okay, her history with Haiti is gross, and so is her husband's. Let's keep it real, honey. Let's keep it all the way real. So, and that's why she didn't win her bid. But a certain person on the other side of the aisle said that my Haitian country was a S-hole country. And I noticed that a lot of bad things has happened to that person. They got prosecuted, they got sued, they have legal issues. So people need to stop talking about Haiti and doing things to Haiti, because the Haitian community don't play that. Anyway. They don't play that, okay? Like in Living Color, homie, don't play that. We don't play that. So, but I knew that that Biden wasn't gonna be successful. I knew that. Is why I never got on here and said nothing about him. Because do you remember what he allowed them to do at the border to the Haitian people? Like I said, the Haitians were watching that. They were like, okay, sir, that's what you're gonna do. Interesting how you can't debate with nobody. You fall every 5 minutes and everybody turned against you. So I'm just saying. Because they were whipping people at the border on horseback. They don't do that to nobody else. What would they do that to Haitian people for? I saw that. I thought they were making a movie. I thought they were making a movie. Mm-hmm. So yes, yes, and yes. But I'm gonna be honest, I actually do like Kamala. I liked her since 2020. I know that she incarcerated people, and that's terrible. That was when she was younger. But I like the stuff that she did as senator. Like she was trying to pass um, Emmett Till anti-lynching law, making hate crimes like a federal crime. She's been trying to pass bills for, and that has sat in the Senate because we have the GOP is now here, right? She's tried to pass also maternal protection, being that is a disproportionate rate of Black women versus white women when they die having babies. So she's been trying to pass laws for that. She's been trying to pass laws for universal health, child care. So she does do stuff. But I noticed that none of that stuff gets advertised because you already know. But yeah, so she has done and has tried to do some good stuff. No candidate is perfect, okay, because the Clintons are corrupt, Trump is corrupt, Biden is corrupt. Like, come on now. But it's just weird to me how Kamala is held to this very unreal, expectation when every politician is corrupt. Biden literally didn't want to vote for integration in school busing. Like, let's keep it real. So, you know what I mean? Yes, long yellow ranger. We are talking about the politics are crazy, girl. Politics is crazy. Like they're literally trying to make Trump win, girl. These corrupt Democrats are literally trying to give the country over to Trump. Like, what are we doing right now? Like, girl, it's a mess. I dreamed that so many years ago. I dreamed that MAGA was gonna take over. If people stay complicit, MAGA will take over. This is not an election to sit down. I don't ever tell you guys to vote. I never tell you guys to do nothing. But I'm just telling you, you do what you do in your private life. But I know what I'm gonna be doing, and it ain't gonna be sitting home that day. I was gonna do that. I was going to do that, but the spirits were like, "Girl, we told you," and I was like, "Oh yes, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am." See, thank you, Long. See, Long Ranger's one of my witnesses. I told you that, right? I told you that a long time. There was gonna be the race wars, the religious wars. Mm-hmm. See, she's one of the people I talked to about that because I've been talking about this for a minute. Yo, and what I saw is not good. Yeah, no, I want Kamala. I'm like, yes, girl, get it, queen. Even Cardi B is like, I'm down for that. I'm down for that. Okay, I want her for president. I want a woman president. I don't care. I don't care, lady. I'm with her. Yes, yes. She's an islander like me. She's part Jamaican. She's part Indian. Like, come on, we gotta promote our Caribbean girls. Yes, yes, exactly. Oh yes, if like when she was doing the debate with Biden, like she tore him up. Biden was all mad, like, like, dude, you lost. She even got Cory Booker, like and it's weird because they in 2020 when she was running, they forced a lot of viable candidates to drop out for Biden because I saw that. We had a Cuban guy that was amazing. We had Kamala. We had Cory Booker. I don't know if we had Newsom or not. I don't really like that guy in California, so he ain't my person. But yeah, we had like 3 or 4 viable candidates, and it's just weird how like people didn't want to donate to their campaigns. They all kept dropping out. We had Annual Yang. We had like viable people, and we got stuck with that guy. I was so mad when I was like, "This is who you got." Like they were already doing corruption back then. Come on now. Yeah, and we got stuck with that guy. Like I was so unexcited. People like, oh, I was happy like that the other guy lost, but I wasn't excited about him. You know what I mean? It was kind of like the Orange Menace versus the couch and the stray dog that sat on the couch. You know what? Him and the toaster. Like we would have just been voting for anything. Like, come on now. Oh my god. How's the weather where you guys are at? It is like 100 and something degrees here, is why we got rain and then we lost power temporarily. It's been like one of the hottest summers on record, man. Like we had a tornado here, bro. That time that I told you guys I lost power for 2 days and I had to like reschedule 2 days worth of readings, it was because we lost power for 2 days. I was worried about my food getting rotten. And those 2 days, like every hotel was booked, guys. So we were stuck here in over 100 degrees weather, no air conditioning. And then, with the, oh my God, what's the name? The power generator, like it could only, a generator could only do certain things. So it was like, well, I could only turn on the coffee maker, or I could only like plug in the food to keep the food fresh. That's about it. So you know what I mean? Because again, it was 2 days with no refrigeration. So it wasn't enough generator to like keep the air conditioning on. So it was hot as hell in here. When is Long Ranger, when is your storm gonna be due? When is it gonna be due, honey? Like when is it supposed to touch in the state you're in? All week. Okay. If I have a cancellation, I'll let you know because I might be able to squeeze you in for tomorrow, but I'll let you know, honey. I'll let you know. I'll message you in the morning. Usually my cancellations always happen in the morning. It's storming right now, tropic? Oh hell no. Ugh. I want fall too, Miss Lotus. My favorite season is fall, winter, and spring. Okay. You notice I did not say summer. I despise the summer. Is why, like, I don't like, okay. I could live in the Caribbean and have summer. They're just better set up for heat. You can have central air, whatever the case may be, whatever. And in the tropics, like in the Caribbean, I could go to the beach. Like there's things to do. Pennsylvania doesn't have any beaches, so it's just like hot. You know what I mean? With nowhere to go. I'm not gonna swim in a dirty river, like ill. So yeah. Yeah, like if I lived in Florida, I wouldn't care if it was hot because it's like I go to the beach. You know what I mean? But here, there's no beaches here. So it's just hot and nasty. I don't think she's gonna pick him because Sanders retired from running for anything VP or because I said the same thing, sissy. I said the same thing. Because I like him too. I like Sanders, da 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 da. But he doesn't want to run for vice or president. I was like, Sanders, come on. I don't want Obama. He didn't endorse Harris, so I don't want Obama no more, girl. Don't want him. If he can't support our sister like that, then no quiero. But a Bernie and Harris ticket, that will be the bomb. That will be such a good ticket. You know what I was thinking too? You know who I actually like? Oh, Michelle Obama. No, I love me some Michelle Obama. Yes. Michelle and Kamala, girl. Yes. I think you're talking about her husband because we don't care about him right now. I love Bernie too. I love my little Bernie. He's like a little grouchy old man, and I love him. Okay. He's my little grouchy old man, and I love him. Yes, I love him. I love him. They had a really good Miss Lotus, such a good Latino guy that was running for president, and I was so sad when he didn't win because he wanted to do a lot of stuff for the black and Like he was wanting to do a lot of stuff for the Black and Latino community. But you know how that goes, right? He was shadow banned on every news channel because he actually won some debates too. Hmm. Yes, but he spoke for the people. He was very Bernie Sanders like, but as you know, a brown person. And I even contributed. I knew he was gonna lose, but I still contributed to his campaign. I was so sad when he had to leave. I was like, boo. But yeah, the sparks be flying, girl. Yeah. But you know what I'm looking forward to? Kamala and Trump going into a debate. That debate I want to see. Not the that other debate, girl. I didn't even watch it. It was just cringe fest. Okay, it was cringe fest. I was like, I'm not even gonna watch this. I don't even know what anybody's talking about here. Yeah, like he was like, we beat Medicare. Like, what are we talking about? How do you beat Medicare? What? Yes, his name was Castro. His last name was Castro, and he worked for the Obama administration. He has a twin brother. He wanted to work with like finally having a status of Puerto Rico. He wanted to work for the Dreamers. He wanted to work for. He was part of Black Lives Matters. He was for reparations to not just Black Americans, but like Black people throughout the diaspora and stuff like that. So he was for all those things. He was for all dumb things, girl. But you know how that goes, girl. He didn't have enough financial backing. So we have a Puerto Rican and a Cuban right now. They were on the third party ticket during the primaries, and they lost the primary because all 50 states refused to put two women on the ticket. Mm-hmm. Yes, honey. Yes, Julian Castro. And he was cute. I was like, you cute too, little president. I'll be like Marilyn Monroe. Happy birthday, Mr. President. No, I'm just like, yeah. So, but yeah, and then they're running under the working class party. Like, therefore, like the working class. Therefore, like making the rich pay taxes, universal health care, living wage. But not all 50 states are going to put them on the ticket. So it's like they don't have a chance of winning, which I think is disgusting. So, and this happens all the time. We always get like what corrupt guy number one or corrupto number two. You know what I'm saying? but you know that I'm being real. We always get like, well, he stinks, but I mean, he's worse. So I guess we got to vote for one of the stinky people. Like, it's annoying. Like, next election, can we get a third party, please? Thank you. Like, do I have to involve the voodoo spirits? Like, what are we doing? Like, I will get the voodoo spirits on you. Like, make it happen. Like, ew. She's laughing. But it's true though. Like, don't make me get my voodoo tools out here. Goodness. But am I wrong or right? Like, I'm saying the truth. That's why I like Ocasio went live the other day and she kind of said that too. She was talking about how they were trying to push these two out and stuff like that. And she wasn't even endorsing him, but she was just speaking because she's a Bernie person. And I like me some Ocasio too. I like Ocasio, Cory Bush, Ilhan Omar. Like, I like them. So you can. That is a chess move, sissy. That is sissy for political analyst advisor. Yes, sissy. That because she hates that guy. She hates that guy. She hates that guy. Yes. Because she's actually more progressive than most conservatives. So I agree. I agree. Because I'm sorry, I'm gonna admit that I have voted on both sides of the political aisle. I'm not gonna lie to you, you know, but I have. Oh, so I did vote for Bush and her father too. I did. I ain't gonna see her lie to you. But I've also voted for Obama. I've also voted for Biden. You know what I'm saying? I vote for who I feel. Yes, exactly. That's why I said I'm not loyal to any party. I'm loyal to who's loyal to me. Okay. Exactly, exactly. She's well respected. She literally lost her political career because she's been the only people, and she also sat in the committee when they did the impeachment trial. Mm-hmm. Exactly, exactly. So I'm just saying. But I did vote on that spectrum too because I was very religious at the time. To be honest, I'm not even gonna lie to you. She did. She did. Yeah, she did. That's a, okay, sissy. We need more. We need more suggestions because you're keeping it interesting. You're keeping it interesting. I like somebody else too, but I don't want to say on here because I don't want y'all like screaming in my face or whatever. Because I was thinking somebody else too, but I'm gonna be quiet right now. I'm gonna keep it to myself. But that would be a very good ticket. I don't know, but I think they're not gonna do two women because like they're gonna try to get like a male, the men to vote. So they're gonna have to pick a man. So let's see what man they pick. So if they pick the man, Bernie, and who else do you think? Like if a male, like, cause they're gonna have to pick a man to run with her. Who you think? Bernie and who else? I'm gonna be honest. My fantasy is that she actually got the nomination because I love Stacey Abrams. I love her. I wanted her to be Biden's running, like to be the vice president. I wanted her to be the vice president with Biden too. Love Kamala, and I was rooting for like Kamala and Stacey. I love her. I love her. And she got cheated out of the election twice in the South. She got the black vote out. She got the Latino vote out. She is. I love her. I know, sissy, but in order for them to win, they got to put a dude in there. They got to appeal to the dudes. They got to appeal to a man. We got to pick a man. We got to pick a man. All right, mama. All right, Miss Lotus Wisdom, honey. Hey guys, can we do something? She has a little bit of a migraine. Can we like, if she's okay with it, like pray for her real quick and send her some positive vibes? Nah, she doesn't want to get into politics. She's like, no, no. All right, spirits and ancestors, Father, Mother God, I pray that Miss Lotus, her migraine could be healed. I ask Father, Mother God, I ask Ogun, the Orisha and Loa of healing. I ask that you heal her at this time. I ask that Obatala, who rules over the Ori, who rules over our heads, to heal her at this time. I ask that you take any sickness, any illnesses, whether they be physical or spiritual, take it away from her at this time. I also pray for her loved ones at this time that I feel intuitively need prayer. She knows who I'm talking about, so I don't have to say who it is. I pray that you can help her to continue to be a caretaker and continue to pray for her loved one. Protect both these beautiful women. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and the ancestors. Amen. Yep. Some of the folks wish Michelle Obama. Yeah. But she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to run. She doesn't want to run, guys. We can't make her run. You know what I mean? I mean, that would be really cool because I always like Michelle Obama. I was gonna make a joke, but I'm not gonna make a joke. Did you guys see Donald Trump's RNC thing where he goes to kiss his wife and she just like and then just starts like going away. I'm like, dude, she hates your guts. Melania doesn't even like her own husband. It's crazy. Night, baby girl. Love and light and blessings, sweetheart. Okay, now I want to shift gears. What have you guys been doing for the full moon? Yeah, I only called the clips, girl. I wasn't gonna watch that. You have Hulk Hogan. Oh, since you're into wrestling, did you see Hulk Hogan? Did you see Hulk Hogan ripping his shirt? I'm like, dude, just go away. When the all the Trumpsters and oh my god, I like Andrew. I like Andrew Cuomo, and I knew you were gonna say that, girl. I like that one too. Did you see how dumb Hulk Hogan looked, girl? I was like, your whole WWE legacy is garbage. She's like, "Rrr, rrr, rrr," and the Hulk still like, still shut up. Do I think that he gets spiritual work from the Cubans in Florida on the low? Exactly. I have, I can't disclose it here, so it wouldn't be my guessing. I have some insight, okay, about him in that field of spirituality. Just put it that way. So a conservative answer, I don't want to put a race to it, but let's just say he has spiritual backing too. Yes, ma'am. But not just one demographic of people. All politicians have spiritualists. Mhm. When I knew a very reputable Haitian mambo, and she was one of those families that was very well known in Haiti. She had a mansion. She helped the disenfranchised people in Haiti. They literally had politicians. Let's just say a very famous Democratic family was also part of that. And when they betrayed the people, they lost everything. But moving on, they would do rituals for them. So politicians, as much as they defame our spirituality, have worked with spiritual people, both sides. I know that for a fact because I have connections in the spiritual realm. And so I know this for a fact. And it's not just one community. So it's not just Cubans. I cannot speak for the Cuban community, but I can speak for my Caribbean community. And let's just say that they do. Mm-hmm. Oh, I knew he was racist, girl. When he released them sound bites talking about he ain't racist, but he gonna say it with a heart, with a heart R. Boy, please. Yes, he does. He talk about I'm not racist. Even recently, outside of when he said all that racist stuff when his daughter dated outside of her race, outside of that, he fired an influencer when he found out she was of the non-caucus race one day after she showed up to the thing and then said, oh, the campaign is canceled. Next day, the girl goes on social media and people that looked like him were the ones doing his brand. Fired because she was a brown woman. Ain't that something? So he's even doing that recently. Yes, they've been. Yes, rat queen. They be doing all types of spiritual stuff and then trying to make it illegal to be anything other than Christian. Facts. They did that in Haiti when the Haitians won their revolution. The Catholic Church interjected because when they did the famous voodoo ritual, the reason why my country's still having problems is because the corrupt government has not let them fulfill the prophecy. It was liberation and then 5 years, 500 years of venerating the spirits. They have not allowed that to happen. It's why Haiti's still struggling now. Um, because as soon as they won the liberation, the church took over the government. The church that never helped us, by the way, be free. The church that was forcing us to get baptized and then selling us to other Spanish and Latin countries, because yes, Haitians are also Latino too and Caribbean. Okay. So they were selling all our people all over the world. That church took over. They massacred the black pigs, which is Ezili Danto's favorite animal to get offerings from, and made voodoo illegal into the 2000s. The religion that not only freed the Haitians, but freed black and brown people throughout the diaspora. Because Haiti did not only get their liberty, they helped a lot of countries be free. A lot of Latin countries, a lot of the islands, neighboring islands, all the things. And they made that illegal. Yes, 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 people. The church that enslaved us. Yes. Well, I know they will rise again too, but I'm just telling you. Hey, Snooky. Yes, that's another thing. I made that video the other day because people were trying to say that I'm a colonizer, and I was like, no, I'm not. Just because I'm not making a video about, of course, I'm going to support their movement, but just because I'm not making a video or always screaming on here about stuff is, like I said in my video, I'm kind of busy trying to figure out ways to bring awareness to the Congo, to Puerto Rico, okay, and other parts of the diaspora. I'm trying to figure out ways and how to let Haiti be for the Haitians because they're literally doing an illegal occupation again. They're illegally being occupied again by a country that in the past colonized them before. So they're not very happy right now. So again, they're Black people in the continent where all humanity was created, they are, for our cell phones. I don't have an iPhone, but the iPhone stuff that they use to make iPhones, they're enslaving children in the Congo, men and women in the Congo for pennies on the day. They're dying in the mines, mining things to make phones with. And nobody's talking about that in the spiritual community. Nobody's talking about how they're buying up all the beaches. The clear people are taking over a colony. Okay. And a lot of people are like, oh, because Puerto Ricans don't want to be free. Yes, we do. We've been murdered every time we try to be free. We get called anti-American. Literally, they tortured Pedro Bismo Campo and anybody who has to do with him. People since in the 50s that President Obama pardoned were in jail for, they had multiple life sentences, all because a lady put a gun in the air and shot in the air to protest the colonization of my country. So I'm just saying, this election doesn't work out, I can't go back to Haiti and I can't go back to Puerto Rico. So where do people like me go? When they're like, oh, get or leave it. Where am I leaving to? Where am I going? So you know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. It's crazy. Hey, Snookies from O, how you doing? Ooh, ooh. I don't know who that is, but I'm like, hey. Because I already know what O means. A, A, A. Anyways, but yes. Exactly. How you gonna colonize somebody when you look the same? Like, what are we doing right now? And that's why I support that movement with, the continent of Africa has certain countries within Africa that are saying, like, we want to be in charge of our natural resources. We no longer want to mine it for you, but we want you to buy it from us. We want our own factories. We want to sell it. We're tired of having European forces take our raw material, have us slave ourselves over it, and then make money in their country. We want to keep the wealth in the continent of Africa. Africa is so resource rich. And I saw a video because I watch a lot of politics of politicians literally saying it's to our advantage to keep certain countries poor in order for us to stay world power. So we got to be awake with that. And this is why I said the spirits are saying there's going to be retributions. So we have to be woke, people. Our spiritual work should also involve financial spells. Our spiritual work should also involve politics. There is an awakening happening, but also what happens when a world power never wants to admit that they've done wrong? Every world power historically has collapsed. If America keeps on this trend and we allow the wrong people to get in power, our dollar will collapse. I've seen it. I've had visions where we've had to do mass migrations to other countries because we went into a worse crisis than the Depression. I've dreamed this and I foresaw this many times. So we got to wake up. Celebrities are cute and everything, but we got to worry about what's going on in the politics too. I'm just saying. Yes, every empire collapses. If people, and democracy is fragile, it can go away. People keep forgetting, oh, they're so used to it. No, it can go away. Think about what happened in Germany in the 1930s and 40s. A person came into power who was actually endorsed by the church and did a genocide of people. He put them in camps at first, right? Blamed them for everything wrong in that country, tried to take over other powers, right? That can still happen today. That can still happen. Look what happened in Rwanda. Like, these things can happen. It can happen here on this soil. Like, it is up to us to protect our freedom. That's what I'm saying. Project 2025 is real. I didn't know the name of the project, but I've been dreaming about this for 5 years. I seen visions, and when the pandemic was happening, I used to cry a lot. I was always working. I was always doing spells because I've been seeing these things for years. But you're not allowed to talk about these things too much on certain platforms. It's just the truth. It's a hot mess. Exactly. I encourage you all to look up Project 2025. It is not a joke. It really is not. It's not propaganda, guys. It will happen. As a matter of fact, 60% of that project is already in our government since Reagan. Okay. They're waiting to implement the other 40%. That is going to be very dire, very no es bueno. They're literally trying to end the Department of Education enforce people to go into religious schools only, and only certain people of the population will be allowed to go to school. That's scary to me. Yes, they're going to do that. They're going to do that to anybody they deem not complying with what they want to happen. There was a politician that went on TV and said the other side of the party, there won't be no bloodshed if they don't say anything. I don't know about you, but somebody saying that in the news is an open threat. Somebody literally saying that there won't be no bloodshed if we stay quiet. I don't know if you think it like that, but I'm thinking that's a threat to my person. So I take that stuff very seriously. I really, really do. Like, no, thank you. No. Yes. See? Long lost Yellow Ranger. I love you. You be backing me up, girl. Me and you we go back from old. We go back a long time, girl. Yes. 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 Yes, me and you have talked about it. I told you my predictions and stuff because you were feeling it too intuitively. Yup. I just, it's been crazy since 2016. Like, I have not, and I remember being those 4 years that passed, I was so uncomfortable. Yes. Yes. You go back to when my daughter was an infant and she is 11 years old. She is going to middle school. That little baby that used to run on camera when I did my readings, on that website that I used to work on. She's going to 11, going on 12 now. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm old, girl. Yes. See, Snooky? Yes. I'm getting old, though, Snookies. I'm getting old. I remember one time I was doing a reading. She was a little older. I have been working there for a little bit. And I'm on the live chat, just chatting away. And somebody's like, your child is in the background, because I thought she was sleeping. I was like, I turn around, this child is walking around with a soggy diaper and no shirt on because it was summer. I was like, I had to turn off my camera. I was like, seriously, girl? Your daughter's going to be 16. Wow. Congratulations. We're getting old, Snickies. My oldest, though, 24, 22, 18, and then the other one's going to be 12. So I feel old. What happened? Yeah. Yep. It's very terrifying. It's very terrifying. That's why I'm gonna vote for every little election. I don't care if it's the election for the janitor of the school. Like, we're just gonna vote for everything. Like, I don't care. But I live in a weird state. Let me tell you why I live in a weird state. So they always say like Pennsylvania is a swing state because they went red in 2016 and then they went blue in 2020. And we have like a lot of campaign people. But can I tell you something? You're not allowed to vote third party here, because if you register as an independent, you can't vote on any primaries or local elections. So you are forced to have to be under one of the two parties. That's crazy. And I'm like, that's voter suppression. Why can't somebody just say, I don't like neither party, let me just do whatever I want? Nope. Yes. Yup. There you go. She's 16 now. That's crazy. Yes, the baby used to mean mug you. Yes, she did. She's still like that. I take pictures of her. People are like, oh, she's like the sweetest girl ever. But she'd be like even her baby, I'm like, what are you mad about? Like, why are you mad? But yeah. SP, come here. Say hi to the people. They remember when you was a baby in a diaper. Say hi. Say hi to those people. Hi, people. That's the baby. She big now. All right, you can go back to the people. You can go back and play. Oh, thank you, Duke. Yeah, because some people seen her since she was like an infant. So I was like, that's how big she is now. See, there she goes back there. She's big, right? She a little lady now. She a little lady. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. She graduated very well from her elementary school graduation. She got her awards. She's a good student. She's gonna go into the middle school now, so I'm excited about that. Yeah, but you know something? You do live in like a troublesome state, but I do like Texas though. I ain't gonna hold you. I like Texas, and Texas be having some fine men in Texas. There's some fine men in Texas. I had a little boyfriend that lived in Texas. He lived in like a little $3 million house. Like he was cute. He was looking good. He looked like Luda. He looked like Luda. He was cute as hell. Like he cute. He pretty. Yeah, she's going into sixth grade. Can you believe that? Yeah, but I'm just saying for me, I like cowboys. So like a black cowboy, like come on, he was fine. You and Georgia. Georgia's a nice state too, though. I like Georgia too. I know that the South has problems, but I do like the South. Like I have visited after I branched off into my own business. I've had to sometimes there's some spiritual stuff you can't do in person. So before COVID, I used to do like in-house visits for spiritual things, and the clients will pay for my, they will pay for my plane ticket and stuff like that. But anyway, so I've gone to Georgia, I've gone to Alabama, and I've gone to Arkansas, and I love the South. So I'm just gonna say it there. Right, Brujita, aren't they cute? Like, get it? Oh my goodness. Okay, I like cowboys so much. I married a cowboy. So when I say I like cowboys, I do. Now I'm not a cowgirl, but I do be liking the cowboys. I do like that country life, that country bunking thing. Not me, girl. I was raised there. I love my New Yorkers, all the things. Love the Bronx and all that, but you couldn't pay me to live in New York. And I think it's because I've always been there. Like, New York is so expensive to live there. Like the cost of living is why I don't live there. Like I like the nightlife. Don't get me wrong. When Shamanic became single, she was always in New York City in the clubs. Okay, I'm not gonna say her a lot, and I had a great time. But New York got so expensive. Like I can't afford to live there. It's so expensive. Yes, it's a Gotham City now. Yes, it is. So I like New York pre this craziness. I like New York, what I'm saying, when I was like single, ready to mingle, that, I was living my little best life. But other than that, no, not no more. So, because when I was getting emancipated from my horrible marriage, I was a club head. So when the kids were with their father, yes, it's very expensive. Like I know people that pay $7,000 rent, $7,000 rent. Five, because I was planning to move back. And when I saw like certain locations that I wanted to do, because remember, I have a big family. So I can't do a 1 or 2 bedroom. I need like 3 or 4 bedrooms, right? When I saw what they were, I was like, we good. It's okay, but it's not that serious. So I would have to literally charge like, okay, to talk to me will be $500 a minute. Like I can't do that. Like my clients ain't gonna afford it and I can't afford it. So like we're not doing that. Ooh, the Hamptons is cute. Yeah, so that's why. But my family all lives there. They're never gonna leave. My family is always like, ew, I can't live in Pennsylvania. Ew, 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 ew. They're always telling me that. Yeah, but the fighting for your life on public transport, I grew up like that. Like I went to when I was in high school, we used to see like people that had, mental illness and stuff, pushing people off train tracks, the unhoused people going into rants. I got used to it and I know that's sad, but like I don't have a reaction to it. I'm like, okay. That's just a New York day. But one thing I do love about New York City transportation, no other city in the world can you go on a train and get a show. There's always like break dancers on the train or somebody singing. You know what I mean? I do love that spirit. Like, I love that spirit of New York, like that part, you know? Yes, so it wasn't the early 2000s for me. We're gonna say like 2009, you know what I'm saying, to 2012, maybe 2006 and 7, around that era. It's around the era when remember, okay, for all the older people, remember when reggaeton first came on the scene and became mainstream? So we're talking about Wisdom and John Dale, Daddy Yankee, Don Omar, Tego Calderon, when Evie Queen, that era, I was in the club. Yes, they do shows. You even have people like, the poles. I see people do like the stripper pole dancing. I'm like, what are we doing right now? Only in New York, I can't. But you see a lot of talent though. Yeah, so around that era was when I was doing the club scene. Yes, honey. I am very spiritual, but I was also a sugar baby when I was single. Like, I'm just saying. So now I'm spiritual, so I'm a very respectable lady, a role model to people. But yeah, I was living my best life around that era. Oh, yeah. Yes, they do. I'm like, what are we doing? But I've seen some videos on like Instagram. Okay, I've been watching the stupidest stuff on Instagram. I don't care what nobody say. Okay, anyway, I've been watching, like, there was a guy taking a bath in a like flotation device pool thing, like a kiddie pool. That's also, and he's like bathing, and nobody's even reacting to it. I'm like, bro, he's bathing in the train. Nobody's gonna say anything. Like, what are we talking about? Oh, I know, honey, because my mother is very strict too. It wasn't I never got to do, so I never got to live my teen years. In my first marriage, I was a teen bride, and I started raising kids at 21. So I never did the, like, most people, like, oh, in my 20s I was partying. That never happened to me. So when I finally left my husband and he would get the kids and stuff, that's when in my 30s I started to actually have a life. So yeah. And then, I met my youngest daughter's father. Then I stopped doing that. But I'm just saying, I did enjoy the singlehoodness at that time period, because it was the first time I ever got to do that. I never got to live that teenage life. I got married in my, like, right after my senior year of high school. Like, I was still a teenager. So yeah, she said, I remember that video. Uh-oh, uh-oh. It's okay, girl. I didn't start getting a life into my 30s. You're still in your 30s. You're not in your 40s yet. So you still got time. You remember that video with the guy and the, thank you. I knew somebody remembered. There's another video that I saw on Instagram. It was on the gram. It was this guy is on a public bus. And he's on a hammock. And the driver's like, you got to get out of the hammock because we can't drive the bus. And he literally went in the hammock and is like twirling around the hammock, hitting people, because he literally set up a hammock in the front aisle of the bus. Like, who does that? What? Oh my god. Yeah, I partied in my 30s. I didn't do nothing. You know what I was doing in my 20s, sis? I was raising children. When I became legally able to drink, I was pregnant with a baby. And then gave birth after that, like a month after that. So yeah. Oh my goodness, I can't. What else you guys want to talk about? So we already did the politics thing for like a whole hour. So what else you guys want to talk about? What are you guys doing for the full moon? Anybody doing anything for the full moon? She said, "Nah, I'm in my 40s. 40s is the new 20s, girl, and 40s is the new 30s, honey. Like we still got that life to live." I already told my kids, like, listen, I will occasionally babysit for you, like if you want to go on a date with your husband or your partner or whatever, sometimes. But if you think I'm gonna be that old-fashioned grandma that got grandkids hanging over her, no, darling. Once my kids are grown, this grandma or this grandma is gonna be out in senior cruises, okay? She gonna be living her best twerking life, okay? Because once I done raise my kids, it's me time again. I'm just saying. There you go. Okay. We're gonna go on a cruise together, long lost ranger. Wait till my youngest gets a little bit older. We're gonna be on a cruise together, honey. It's gonna be a hot glamour summer. That's right. Yes. Woo! Yes, we will. Like Biden said, yes, we can. I'm gonna do it. Okay, so I am going to be continuing the paranormal series. The reason why I haven't done another episode, I don't remember where I left off. So I have to rewatch the videos so I can continue the story. So I will be doing that. I am gonna download a new paranormal series video in August. Yes, I know. There's so many places I want to travel to. Like, I have clients from like parts of so many different parts of the world. They're like, hey, I own hotels, resorts, this, that, and the other. Come, 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 come. So I'm just waiting for my kids to get, my baby to get older because like I do want to take up some people on those offers. And be like, hey, I'm vlogging from this part of the world, guys. Hey. But if you could travel to any place, guys, what would it be? I want to go to Turkey. I want to go to Morocco. I want to go to Trinidad and Tobago. Like, I want to go to a lot of places. Anyways, I want to go to Brazil. I want to go to Brazil because I want to go to Carnival. Carnival in Brazil, guys, will be so amazing. Costa Rica and Greece. I love that. Yes, Katie. Yes. 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 She's like, you left us hanging. I've been to Paris. I've been to Paris. I like Paris. A lot of people are like, oh, they're so rude in Paris. I had a great time in Paris. My kids had a great time in Paris. So yes, I've gone to France, loved it. I like it. Oh, you want your honeymoon there? Okay, girl. Yep, I want to go. I want to go to Ghana in Africa. I want to go to Nigeria. Okay. So yes, me too. Me too. Me too. I want to go to the DR too, though, Brown Burrito. Have you been to the DR? I want to go to the DR. I want to go to Santo Domingo too. I want to go to DR. I heard DR party nightlife is lit. And it's like inexpensive to travel too. So it's like affordable. So I want to go there too. I want to go to like all the Caribbean islands, to be honest with you. Italy, yes. Oh, me? Have I reconsidered? Um, it's not that I'm not going to do it because that is going to happen. Is that I don't know if you've been following me for a while. I had a health issue for 2 years that I'm good now, like I'm recovering from. And so because of health reasons, I was waiting on a specific, so I have more than one godmother for her to do certain things, rituals for me to feel like I was mentally prepared. And I had to postpone that because of health issues. So I will be doing that in the future. I'm also thinking, she brought up a good topic, so I'm going to get into that now. I'm also thinking, like, so outside of the witchy coven, okay, I'm trying to create, you know how like other religions have protections? So I wanted to create a like church, if you will, of like what we believe in. So like New Age, Voodoo, Santeria, it could be pagan. It's just anybody who's outside of Abrahamic religions. So I want to create that too. So because if I'm gonna take on God kids, I want to have a physical place where my god kids could come to visit me, a place where we could meet up, and possibly get other sister churches. But I wanted to start that so we can have um, the same political protections that other religions have. Because I am an ordained minister, and I did that because I am wanting to create a spiritual church, if that makes sense. So that is where I'm going to be taking on God kids, doing initiation. So I am going to be doing that in the future. That is my goal between 2025 and 2026. So that is in the works. It just wasn't in the works in the past because I had health issues. Another health issues that I had was my eating disorder, which I am doing very well with recovering from my ED2. I am down 40 pounds in a healthy way. I have not starved myself. I've started to work out now and stuff like that. So now that I'm doing better mentally, my health journey, I recovered from my illness that I had going on for 2 years. I'm in a better headspace to kind of get connected with the right people to get that started. So I will be updating you guys about that in the future because yes, I still have the coven and I'm still going to be doing that too, but I'm also trying to have a physical coven too as well. They will have rituals open to the public. If you want to ever experience an authentic ritual in person, I want to have a physical place for that. So that is what I'm saving up money for. That's, I might do a thing where if you guys want to donate for that cause, but I also want my spiritual house to donate to the Black and Brown community as well. So I want to be advocates for our community. I want to give back, but I also want to provide places where we could have rituals, open that up to the community, help people. Thank you, Cece. Thank you so much. So yeah, so basically that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. See, she had a dream that was going to happen already. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I've been trying to save up money. There's going to be more talks because I don't want to talk too much about it because the evil people be listening. But yes, that is definitely in the works. So that to answer your question, CC, that is definitely in the works. Okay, that is definitely in the works. I would love to go to Cuba. I would love to go to Cuba, but we ain't allowed to go there. Oh, you used to go to DR every year in your childhood. I love it. Yes, queen. So I'm a very proud Haitian Puerto Rican, but if I'm honest, I grew up predominantly around African American or Caribbean Black women, and then I grew up also around a lot of Dominicans. I'm gonna be honest with you. So that's who I grew up, the demographics I grew up around. So I love Dominican culture. I grew up around a lot of Jamaican Trinis. I grew up around stuff like that. So like those cultures. So I was exposed to a lot of those cultures. So I love Trinidadian food. I love Jamaican food. I love Dominican food, which is very similar to our food, but I still love it. Like a Dominican is the one that taught me how to make pernil, and everybody loves my pernil. Okay, so I'm just saying. So I do be loving my Dominican brothers and sisters. I did grow up around that culture a lot. But the weird thing about, I don't know if that's in your case, but like the Dominicans I grew up around, so Puerto Ricans love merengue when I was growing up. And Dominicans were always into salsa. So they always say like, "Oh, salsa is like for this culture." No, I grew up with Dominican could dance the hell out of a salsa, and then you have Puerto Ricans loving merengue. I love merengue too, and I love me some bachata. So I can't even say something about that. Yes, I love pernil. Pernil is that like somebody's birthday party. Like I don't care about no turkey for Thanksgiving. Give me my pernil, arroz con gandules, pasteles, and we talking. That's what we talking about. I don't care about no turkey. Arroz con dulce, tembleque, flan. That's what I want to eat on Thanksgiving. Okay, even though I don't celebrate Thanksgiving like that, but I will have a potluck. Yeah, he did, and then we couldn't because the next people got in power. I know, girl. I know. I know. I know. Now I'm making me hungry talking about this food I can't eat right now. Ugh. Yeah, I know because we have very similar cultures, sister girl. Ooh, give me 1 second. And then for me, for my Haitian culture, give me 1 second. I want some black rice. I want some Haitian black rice with those mushrooms on it. It's so freaking good. Have a nice day. Any Haitian out there? Okay. You need to make me some black rice with some mushrooms. That's all I gotta say. I don't know how to make that, but I have people in my family that make it. It's so good. I need to learn how to make it. But people don't want to share their damn recipes with me, so it's annoying. You said me too. Right? We're getting hungry talking about that. Oh my goodness. Who you telling, girl? Because I speak it very ugly and very little bit. And so to me, like, because I can't speak it well, I just don't try to practice because then you have people like, ew, you know what I mean? So I just go to Spanish and English because. But I'd be mad insecure. Like, I know I have an accent. You're so mean to me. But anyway, but I always hate when people do that because they'll be like, oh, you should learn the language of your culture. And then you try to, you have an accent, they make fun of you. Like, I don't want to learn if you're going to be mean to me. Oh, it's that black rice is, girl, that black rice is so good. It's so good. I remember the first time I ate it was the Haitian Flag Day. It was so good. Because Haitian month was in May. We have Puerto Rican month in June. I believe the Dominican parade either passed or is coming up. So, because I know there's a Dominican parade in New York too. Oh yeah, I know. But like when you try to speak something, people are so mean about it. Like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm not an expert. That happens to my kids. So my kids, my oldest daughter kind of speaks Spanish, but she has like a strong accent, and sometimes like her grammar isn't proper. And they'll make fun of her, and I'm like, but bro, this is why she don't want to speak around you. You're saying, oh, you didn't teach your kids Spanish. I've tried to, but you people are mean to my kids, so they get discouraged about it. They don't want to speak it to you because you're being mad rude about it. Like, come on now, you know? Very mean. Ugh. Okay, I do speak Spanish fluently. I can read and write Spanish, right? Okay, whatever. But sometimes I'll have clients, and I could do it. They'll be like, oh, I want you to do a reading with me, in Spanish. But I could do the reading in Spanish, but when I do readings in English, I'll show you the card and be like, hey, you got, sometimes I feel intuitively like, hey, you got the Ace of Cups. But in Spanish, I don't know exactly what like, I can translate it, but it might not be the way they call it in tarot. So I'll just say what the spirits are telling me, but I'm thinking the tarot cards in English and then translating them in Spanish because I'm so used to like reading my tarot cards in with the English titles. So it's like I'm just gonna, I'm still gonna give you the reading in Spanish, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, you got the Ace of Cups. I'm not gonna try to translate that into Spanish because like that's gonna take too much time. Yeah, so I'll just be like, this is what the spirits are saying. But yeah, I need to get me a little Spanish deck. I think I'm gonna do that, like a Spanish tarot deck. So when somebody asks me, you know. But Brown Brujita, remember that deck of cards you gave me, the Taino cards? I'd be reading with those cards too. I forgot to. I'm gonna make a video one of these days how I read with those cards. I like them. I have my own way of reading with them though. So, because she bought me a Taino playing card set, really pretty. I showed it on my channel a while ago. So, but you guys didn't do any rituals for the full moon. Yeah, I don't. I don't really do nothing with full moon, but I know some people do. Oh, I love them. Arabic is a beautiful language, Rachel. Long. long lost ranger. That's a really beautiful language. Arabic is a beautiful language. Yes, I do love them. I appreciate you sending that to me. That was really nice. I don't do any rituals either. Don't feel bad because a lot of people are like, oh my God, what did you do for the full moon? Nothing. I do spell work all the time. So it doesn't matter if it's a full moon, if it's a non moon, if it's a this moon, if it's a that moon. It doesn't make a difference for me. It really is such. Thank you for all the people that are in chat. We have some new people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so if your pendulum, oh, it seems to give you inaccurate readings, a lot of times it's not that you need a new one, you need to clean it. So when it comes to that, the moon energy is a nice thing. Like that I do in the moon, like I do cleanse crystals in the moon, that I do, stuff like that. But you can try to do that in the next full moon. You can try to, depending on what crystal it is, you might physically need to clean it. You could smoke cleanse it and then do a rededication ritual to it. So it might just need to be recharged, because you know what does that too. If you work with a deck of cards, right, sometimes your deck of cards, when you've been heavily using them for a while, can become just as inaccurate as a pendulum. So that's why there might be times when you need to charge your cards and rededicate your cards and stuff like that. So that might be what needs to be done for your pendulum. You might just need to cleanse it and recharge it. Yeah. Because remember, when you use anything for divination, it starts to hold energy. When something has too much energy, it starts to become inaccurate because it's so heavy. It's like a cup. If we keep filling a cup up with liquid, it overflows. Our tools do the same thing. So that's the reason why, because of how the amount of readings that I do, being that I'm a full time reader, I change my decks out every month. I'll charge it, use it for a month, and then I put it away. I house them with like crystals, whatever, and then I use another deck because they get so heavy, they'll become inaccurate. So I give it time to like rest and recharge and do its juju. So that's why I be changing out my decks occasionally. Yeah, because it's a spiritual tool. It's a spiritual tool. All right, guys, I'm going to be doing some spells. I just noticed it's almost 11 o'clock my time, so I'm gonna try to get stuff done before midnight. Have you ever thought about one-to-one tarot classes and sessions? I do like to give mentorships, yes, but I have my own way of reading cards, and so it's something I can't teach because it's so you have some readers like they read book meaning. So the Ace of Cups is the Ace of Cups is the Ace of Cups. I don't read like that. So when I started reading, I never used tools. So I do more I did a whole video on it because it's hard to explain, but when I'm reading, it's more of a semi-possession thing. So it's the spirit talking. So it's not really what the meaning of the cards are. So that's why when I do readings, I even when I worked on the psychic hotline, if anybody ever noticed, I never put the camera down on my cards because somebody who's a traditional reader might be like, but that card doesn't mean that. Okay, because that's what the book says. But my guides are saying this is what the message is. So I wouldn't be a good teacher because my meanings change all the time because I'm more of a psychic reader versus an intuitive reader. An intuitive reader goes by book meanings versus a psychic reader. They don't really need decks or tools to read with. So I just do it because if I were to get possessed in a reading, you know how some people go to church, they're like Pentecostal, Baptist, they get the Holy Spirit or whatever. Okay, so I get similar possessions with ancestors. So imagine me going on a psychic hotline. It's a deal that I made with my spirits. And I'm doing a reading for people. And then I'm talking in tongues. People are like, girl, like you know what I mean? So it's not a marketable thing to do. So I made a deal a long time with my spirits that I will use the cards and then they will speak through them. And so when I first started reading, even back then when I was doing the hotline, I never opened a tarot book. Like I started learning the meanings of them later on. So I have a whole different way of reading with my cards, if that makes sense. So that's what people be like, but how do you know that the cards say that? And I'm like, because I'm not reading the cards. It's weird to explain, but yeah, that's how even my time frames, they're more intuitive. There's no book or person that I learned from. So I would be a very bad teacher. Really? That's cool. Did I like the hotline? Why did you stop? All right, as long as nobody mentions the name of the hotline on here, I will tell you my honest opinion. Because if you do, they are very annoying. Because I had a spiritual name that I went under in that hotline, and they literally, even though I made up my own name, this person gave it to me, not this name, the other name I used to go by. They literally threaten to sue people all the time if they go and use the name that they use on the website, because they're like, oh, you advertising outside the site. So they control their readers, where we're not allowed to advertise ourselves at all. So when I went into my own business, I had to start from scratch. I did like working there in the beginning when we had higher payouts. They got bought over by a different company, and that company took 70% off the workers. So we were only allowed to keep 30%. And so it became where, even though I was working all the time, it wasn't a livable wage anymore. So for those reasons, I went into my own business, and eventually my old clients found me. But that's why I left. They took too much of my cut. They were good when they first started, which was a fair exchange, and then it became where you were working harder, but you didn't have anything to see. And when I was working there, people that read with me know I was one of the top psychics on there. Like when I used to go into free chat, most readers will sit there for hours and hours. It was always da, 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 da. There was literally sometimes where two people will press the button and they will have to fight about who's gonna get off the private chat, because I was very popular on that site. So I was making them a lot of money, but I wasn't seeing what I was putting into that. So my spirit started telling me, you're going to have to branch out. And it was a very scary thing for me to do, because a lot of readers that don't work on hotlines don't make any money. It is very hard. No matter what they show you on social media, it is a very hard business to get into and actually make a livable wage. But my spirits called me to do it, and they have been giving me a better wage than when I was working on there. When I was working on there, when they were taking 70% off the profit, and again, I was one of the top readers on there. Anybody who's read with me would know that people will wait days and weeks just to read with me, because that's how busy I was. And they even had me on their Facebook, advertising me, all the things. My name that I made for myself, they took my name and my image to this day and advertised with it without my consent. That's the same thing they did to Cleo, where Cleo worked for a hotline. To this day, my image is used to advertise their site. I don't get any money from it. And they literally threatened, like, if you use your name from this website, we're going to sue you. I had to reinvent a name. I had to reinvent everything from scratch. So I would never work for another. Yeah, we're not doing that. They threaten people all the times. So that's why I always say, like, the people that know where I worked, don't say the name of it, because I don't want to have issues with those people. Like, yeah, I could do voodoo to them all day, but like I ain't trying to do all that. So yeah. The Tropics was like, she was booked all the time. Exactly. So it was so bad. Like before, I would make a good living the first like 2 years. That last year when they got bought over and they only gave us 30% of what we made. I had to go on food stamps. Like how you, and I'm not putting nobody down, but think about it. I'm one of your top psychics, making you mad money every month, right? And I have to be on public assistance because you're not paying me a living wage. What does that look like to you? You could come in. So that's why I left. That's why I left. Yes, Squirts. I'm gonna go upstairs soon. Okay, yeah, wash dishes. Incense right home. Say hi, peoples. She's like, I ain't doing all that. I love you, girl. That's my other daughter. Yes. I love you, goobers.
You look so cute.
Thank you,
She has a
goobies.
little witch's head.
Gooby goobies.
No, she has to incense her room.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, so that's why I left it. That was a really good question. Now, I will never say that it wasn't a good place to start off on. And the reason being why I'm such a different reader than a lot of people is because working on the psychic hotline helped me to understand what the clients want, what type of reader they want, the speed that they want you to read. So it did help me a lot in setting up the way that I do my stuff, which is different from a lot of other people. Like, I love reading people live. I don't like email readings. I don't like I don't like that. I don't do that. That's not my thing. I like that interaction of like reading somebody that's on the other end of the screen, whether you turn your camera on and off or whatever. I like to not know what you're going to ask me ahead of time. I like that whole like reading in the moment. I love that. It's more traditional for me. And I got a lot of that experience on the website. Like I learned how to be an efficient, quicker reader, understand what types of questions people ask without having judgment. You know, I've seen too many readers wanting to be professional readers, but then they get mad and judge the client on what they're reading on. I've had people like, oh, that lady was so mean. Like, if you're gonna be a professional tarot reader, you're gonna do love readings. Okay, you don't need to be looking down on people because they want to read about their boo bear or their boyfriend or whatever. Like, I used to read on that when I had man problems. I was going to the cards too. You know what I'm saying? Like when people start acting like they're too good to read on certain things, I don't like that. So working on the website, working on, working for them and working on a hotline, that helped me with that. Like being humble, having better customer interactions. When I would go to other people's chats, I would see the behaviors that I liked versus what I didn't like. So I'll be like, oh, I'm not going to do that because when I went in there, I felt like it was not personal or I felt like that person's standoffish. You know, you'll go to people's different rooms and they don't even conversate with people. Like if you're not paying them, they don't want to talk to you. I don't like that because like why would I want to invest in somebody that has a bad attitude? So you know what I'm saying? So it helped me a lot to be more of a confident reader. So I would never regret that time. But it's like I outgrew it, you know? Oh yes, I could have sworn that I emailed you that answer. But yes, the way that that will work, right, is when I give classes, right, I do something called a group call. So I'll be the administrator of the call. Like I'll make a separate group. And then all your friend would have to do is add me on Skype and I will add them to the phone call and you. And so when at the time of our appointment, I would just call both of you and you guys, all three of us will be on the same phone call. So it would just, so that's how you do it. It just has to be a group chat, like a group call. So that's because that's the way I do classes. Same thing. So I would just need them to um, find me on Skype. I add them as a contact, and then I'll be able to add them and yourself and myself on a group call. And then when is whatever time they schedule the reading for, I will just call you at that time. And then as long as you're on your Skype and logged in and everything, you'll be able to be in the phone call with us. So hopefully that makes sense. So yes, guys, I can do group readings. Yes. Exactly. The only thing I never do, and I've said this a million times, there's only one couple that are clients of mine that I do couple readings with. I love them. It's all cool. But most of the time, I really don't like doing love interest couple readings together. Girl. Because then sometimes that person, if we're doing a love reading and that person, you ask me, hey, are they being faithful, whatever, I'll tell you the truth. But it's kind of awkward when said person is sitting there and the spirits are like, yeah, they're cheating on you. How am I supposed to say that? The dude's sitting right there, like, uncomfortable. I feel like I have to censor myself, and I don't like that. Oh, anytime. So I don't do those like relationship reads with the other person there. Mm-mm. Another thing I don't like doing is when, because sometimes the client wants like adult questions answered, and I just don't feel comfortable with like a little baby walking out. Like, bro, there's like a whole baby there. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, but other than that, I don't care. Like, I don't want to answer that the baby's there. Like, weird. So I do read younger people if the parents are around and they bought the reading and they're like, hey, my kids having this experience and the kids old enough to understand, like I do that, but like, yeah, I'm not going to do inappropriate conversations around children. That's just no. All right, no problem, honey. I'm about to go and do my bedtime too. Not bedtime. I gotta pray. But I was gonna say another thing that I don't do before I get off here. I had someone. They told me I could share the story. That I had an appointment with them. I think they forgot or something. They picked up the phone in the middle of consummating a relationship. If you get my drift, and I'm like, sweetie, we can always reschedule. I am mad uncomfortable. Peace. That's weird. You could have just like not turn on the camera and say, "Hey, I am indisposed." Like we didn't have to do all of that. Like I'm mad uncomfortable. Yeah. So I've been through a lot of interesting. I'm like, she's like, "No, girl, we could do the reading." No, we cannot. No, we cannot. I'm not that comfortable. Okay, that's so weird. Like, can we just reschedule the reading for the love of, like, I'm a very liberated person, but that's a little too liberated for me. That's just a little bit too much. I was like, she's like, you could share that story shamanic. She still thinks it's funny to me. I was like, girl, that was not cute. Like, it's the first time you ever see me like blushing. I was like in shock, like, okay. Like, what am I supposed to do? Sharing is caring, but that is too much caring for my taste. Okay, that was too much. No, and then the crazy thing is, she wanted me to read about the guy that was there. That's why I said I don't do couple readings because those would be the weird. I'm like, so I'm supposed to read about him? Like, what? Like, what are we talking about right now? Anyway, I need to stop. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Much love, light, and blessings. Thank you so much for joining my live today. I wanted to end this live on a serious note. Okay, like you want me to read about your BD in the background, bro? Like we getting to know too much. She's like, she said she watching. She's like, I'm a watch. Cindy's like, I'm a watch. Where's the popcorn girl? Where's my shades? I'm not dealing with you. Anyways, I wanted to do a quick prayer for all of us. Okay. So, yes, I wanted to do a quick prayer just to like pray for us as a community that the spirits will guide us through this very difficult time and protect us religiously and spiritually and physically because we're going to be going through hard times in the future. Okay. So, I did want to end today's live real quick with a prayer and then I will let you guys go. All right, guys. Father, Mother, God, spirits, and ancestors, thank you so much for allowing me to go live today, to give me the courage to speak what I need to speak about. I was very afraid to do this. We live in a time where people are easily canceled, platforms are taken, and people are being silenced. I ask that you can help free Palestine. I pray that you can help Puerto Rico to be liberated. I pray that you can help to free the Congo. I pray that you can help to free Haiti. I pray that you can help us throughout the diaspora. And I pray that you could help us in America right now. I ask that you could protect us from tyranny, fascism, racism, colonization. I ask ancestors in the same way that you led our people through the Haitian Revolution. I pray in the same way that you led Nat Turner in his revolution. I ask that you when you helped Frederick Douglass to free his people, because it was not Abraham Lincoln, but it was Frederick Douglass that inspired a president to let go of our people for freedom in exchange for fighting in a war. I ask my spirits at this time that you could protect the marginalized communities. I pray that you could give us a fire of hope. I pray that you could give us a passion to fight for our rights, to not be silenced, but to use our voices to speak up. I pray that you can enhance our spirituality, because spirituality is political. There is power in the ancestors. In the same way that Ezili Dantu led a group of marginalized people to the slave revolts and gave us victory that day in that ritual. In the same way that you helped Marie Laveau, Aida Huedo, Santa Marta la Iluminadora. In the same way, Ogun, that you have led your people to fight again, because no matter how much they try to squash Haiti, the Haitian people have never succumbed. They have never surrendered, and they are a proud people. I pray that you could help us, the children of the diaspora, the children in Africa and throughout the world that are asking you to help and guide us at this time. Do not let one religion oppress your people. Do not let a dictator take over our country. But I ask that you help us to exercise our voices, to speak out against inequality. If we have to take this to the streets, I ask in the same way that we fought against police reform and it was a worldwide protest. I pray that you could give us that same power, that same fight. Ancestors, we need you now more than ever, because you know the spirits of Lama Lama. You were a people that were oppressed, and your people, your children, your ancestors' dreams, they're trying to suppress us and take away our rights. I ask you, ancestors, protect us, and for once and for all, break the yoke of disenchantment, break the yoke of oppression and colonization. Let freedom ring, spirits. Let freedom ring. Once and for all, let the dream of Martin Luther King come true once and for all. That true equality and true freedom, freedom of abundance and finances. Help us to lift up our spiritual community. If one fascist group could be loud, let us stand up for our spirits. Let us stand up for the right to worship, pray, and be devoted to what we want. Help us, spirits, because we are going through dark times. Help each and every one of us to be the light of the world and to spread the message. We must fight for our religion's freedom and our freedom to exist and our freedoms over our bodies and true equality, spirits. We thank you, spirits, because we know that this prayer is answered. We know that you, spirits, have always helped your people. You helped to free our ancestors from bondage. You are the same spirits that created us, all humanity in Africa. You are the same spirits that liberated your people. And you are the same spirits that walk with us right now. I pray that my community could open up their eyes and see that there's freedom in this religion. There's freedom in the ancestors. And not allowing colonization and the religion that beat into our ancestors take over our thoughts, take over our authority. Because we are a powerful people. We are a chosen people. We thank you, ancestors. We thank you, Obatala. We thank you, Ogun. We thank you, Legba. We thank you, Danto. We thank you. We thank you, the spirits of Lamadama. Amen. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Remember, guys, we can, through our spirituality, continue to liberate and help our communities. And that was the message the spirits have for us. Don't ever feel like we don't have power, that we don't matter, because that's what the oppressors want you to think. There is so much power. There is so much power. We are a powerful people, and we have to start acknowledging how powerful we really are. Anyway, woo. We want to free Congo. We want to free Africa. We want to free Haiti. Do we want to free Puerto Rico? Okay, I'm done. Oh, I get very emotional about certain things. I want an Africa, like in my lifetime, I want an Africa for African people. I want to see the richest continent with so many resources actually reap the benefits of that. I want the end of imperialism. I know the ancestors are crying out right now. We have so many people in our community that are lost to fascist religions that are slave masters ingraining us that think that we're demonic and we're not. They made us fear death and the afterlife, but our ancestors literally killed themselves and their children sometimes just not to be enslaved because our ancestors knew not to fear death. We are the dreams of our ancestors, guys. Do not ever give up your right to vote. So many of our people died for that right. Okay, I'm done. Like, I'm really emotional right now. I didn't mean to do that. All right, guys. I love you so much. Much love, much light, much blessings. I look like a hot mess right now. I'm just very impassioned person. But anyways, much love and light. Thank you so much, guys. I will leave this for replay for those of you that missed the first whatever. I didn't mean to be on here for like 2 hours, but there's a lot more like political stuff in the beginning of the live. So if you missed that, you can play back and everything. Much love.